So I have the opportunity to scrap a Time Crisis 4 arcade machine, and I figured we'd take a look at the hardware behind it, what makes it run, I guess. So we'll start with the front. I don't know if this is going to be the right way up, but we'll work with it. We've got sound in the top corner, we've got the main power input there, we've got two VGA ports, sound again, USB, and then these two connectors, I'm not too sure what they are. Then we've got some dip switches and networking. So this sticker just down here says Sony Magic Gate, and from those of you who can remember, that's the same kind of technology, I guess, that's used on a PS2, and same as a card. This is the same form factor as a regular PlayStation 2 memory card, so that should give you a big clue as to what the hardware is inside this box. I think even though this is in the same kind of casing and the same kind of format, I don't think it's actually a memory card. I know that the game doesn't boot unless this card is inserted, so it's some kind of hardware dongle. So I've already taken a few of the screws out. Inside we see lots of dust, which is not surprising. I believe this game came out in like 2006. So start with the obvious stuff. Again, I have taken some of the screws off for the covers. So under here we've got a Samsung 40GB hard drive, which I'm going to assume that that's where the game is stored, because it ain't going to be stored on this dongle here. So yeah, standard off-the-shelf Samsung Spin Point, I think it is, 40GB IDE hard drive. So you should just be able to see through the gaps, maybe, that the motherboard underneath it. So obviously I've got to be careful how I take this apart, because I want it to put it back together, because this hardware does actually still work. Anyway, so yeah, the markings on the board say V329EX sound board, or well, sound PCB, sorry, made by Namco, so it's obviously a custom board specifically for this system. Got riser board here, and don't know if this is the right way up, but it says System 256 riser PCB. And I'll see if I can get the model number of this PlayStation 2 board. But I'm gonna hazard a guess and say it's a fairly early one. Oh. Okay. If I'm honest, this is not what I was expecting. Looks like in this version, Namco have customed their own board, which I was expecting it to be literally an off-the-shelf PS2, but with obviously arcade BIOS and arcade boards. So I'm going to assume they must have got Sony to build them a custom board. Either that, or I'm just talking out my ass, I don't know. I can't figure out how this board even comes out. Let's have a quick shufty. Looks like it's mounted on some kind of metal tray thing, so I'm hoping that if I take this screw out I should be able to slide the whole thing out. Slide it side to side. Is that going to be enough? This might potentially be enough to free it. Yeah, it is. Lovely. So, as I was saying earlier, this is a System 256 board. What look like standard memory card slots. And yeah, it's more custom stuff. Don't know how that comes off. Like that, that's how that comes off. Right, I don't know, there's a few chips on here that say Sony Computer Entertainment, and those of you that are actually familiar with PS2s may potentially, I don't know if this camera's going to zoom, it's not a very good camera. So that, and I got it mounted upside down and kind of backwards to the way that it appears on the video output. I'll try and rotate the board so that at some point you get the correct viewpoint. There's the dip switches. I think that USB isn't actually USB, I think it's JVS. It's just using a USB connector. Going back to this memory card board, there's actually a USB port there as well. And the front of the case, no, not the front of the case, the metal shield here has a sticker that says USB, but it's covered over. You can see that just where my thumb is. So yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. Got the regular coin cell in there, standard coin cell. Yeah. Well, now that I've taken it apart, let's see if we can get the bloody thing back together again. I suppose I may as well give it a quick clean whilst I'm here, or at least a little brush off anyway. Right, well, let's see how this one goes. I had a quick look on eBay, and apparently these things are about 100 to 200 quid for these, which is insane on eBay anyway, because I guarantee that if you were to order a brand new one from Namco or whoever supports this arcade machine now, I guarantee it ain't going to be 200 quid. They'll probably add a couple of zeros on the end. Because unfortunately, as soon as you add the word arcade onto any kind of product, it seems to cost a stupid amount of money. Oh, no, I forgot the board. That was a good start. Let's try that again. See, I'm pretty good at taking things apart. It's putting things back together that not so good at. And I bet all you can see is the back of my head. I think it may have been the hardware for Time Crisis 3 that was an off-the-shelf PS2 mainboard. Because I'm one of those lucky arcades that has had pretty much... Lucky was obviously sarcasm. Lucky arcades that has had pretty much the entire generation of Time Crisis. We started off with 1, then 2, and so on and so forth. For those of you that haven't watched one of my previous videos, and if you're not figured it out by now, I happen to work in an arcade, so hence why I'm getting the opportunity to take apart these arcade-based machines. I know my previous video was Angry Birds PC. Now that wasn't that exciting because literally just a standard PC. But this is something slightly more interesting because it's custom built. This is a bollock. There we go. Oh, put this big one back in and it should be good. I do wonder what file format the hard drive is in. I mean, I suppose it'd be like FAT32 because as far as I know you don't need a license for that. Well, I suppose it could pick any of the other file formats that Linux uses. I think there's 3 or 4 different file formats that's compatible with. I know that if I were to plug it into my PC, it obviously wouldn't be able to read the hard drive, both because of the file format and secondly it's more than likely encrypted to stop people from messing around with the data that's on there, or worse, a competitor making a clone of it, I guess. And yeah, and at this stage I'm kind of rambling on because I realise this is quite boring watching me put it back together. So yeah. The board that I'm plugging back in here now is the the link port. Whether or not that's actually an actual network port, like networking, you know, as a regular like Ethernet, or if Namco are just using the actual connector to send data over, I don't know. Obviously the PS2 itself supports networking, so it would make sense that it's just a normal network connection. Well, this screw hole's been a bit awkward for some stupid reason. Maybe they're the wrong screws. Yeah, bugger it. Don't matter. It's not like we'll be using it again. I think out of all of our arcades, I was one of the last few to actually have a Time Crisis 4 game here. Maybe there might be one or two of our smaller independent sites that still have it, but we'll still have one. Well, I guess I'll end the video here. There's not much point in you guys watching the rest of this because it's, yeah, pretty much done now. Obviously, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully I can bring you something else to tear down from an arcade. I don't know what, but yeah, thanks for watching.